presenting Channeling Erik's Hour of Enlightenment.
Hello, everybody. Hi. Welcome back to our show with the Channeling Erik 2.0 model. We've got, of course, Michelle Gray and Stephanie Perez. I'll say it in Spanish because my dad's from Spain.
Hello.
Perez. And then we have Kim Voigt from embody-light.com. And, of course, I will put this all on the YouTube that I make this into and also on the blog. Somebody get that dog. She's scratching at the door. Drop me nuts. Sorry. Okay. Anyway.
Wouldn't be a show without yelling.
Here's what we're doing here, guys. We're going to talk about loss, changes, and coping with how to navigate through the holidays with this uncertainty. Of course, given the pandemic, it sort of changes everything. And this is actually the first holiday season we've had, and hopefully it'll last, with the COVID pandemic. So, Erik, you're going to talk about that, I hope, along with Stephanie and Kim and Michelle. And, you know, just join us and see if we can be a part of this conversation while we walk together through these holidays. And we're going to make it on the other side, hopefully, with a lot of presents. Just kidding. Oh, maybe I'm not. Anyway, okay. It's a little different this year, but I guess we'll start out with, Erik. Hi, baby, I love you.
Well, and he's saying, I love you too, Mama. And one thing, you know, he checked in with me a little bit earlier, and one fun thing that I just wanted to kind of share with everybody that I didn't know everybody knew, that when we talk about, you know, the story of the three wise men and the star and Christ and all that, when they're bringing the gold, frankincense, and myrrh, there was a reason they were bringing gold, because he was such a high-dimensional being, like 12th dimensional or even more, that he couldn't even hold his physical form. He wouldn't be able to without the gold. And so that was the purpose for the gold, that they brought the gold, yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Well, he makes me put so much frankincense and myrrh oil on my seventh chakra, on my chakra point. I'm dripping right now, I swear to God.
That's
hadn't had
That's
a chance
very
to.
protective. Yep, high vibrational and protective. So he says a lot of people could really benefit from using that, helping to keep their vibration high.
Well, it seems to it makes me put it on the Herkimer diamonds, and I think it increases the amps up the scalar energy signal. But I'm sorry, who was talking?
Well, so he's just saying, you know, for one, he wants people to look for the blessings in disguise in all of this, because you know, look at how commercialized Christmas has gotten and the holidays for people. So many people are in debt for 4 to 6 months after the holidays to put on this lavish gift-giving party overindulgence thing. And he says, so that is one of the benefits this year, that people are really going to start looking within and looking what's really important, and the families, you know, their families. Yeah. And he talks about eventually we'll kind of be going back to more simpler times where it's more community type things, you know, and people really supporting each other. So he's saying, you know, it and for those that have had loss, it is an especially difficult time.
I
know. The veil's
getting
thinner and thinner every day, though.
Yeah. A lot of us have lost people to COVID, for example. And the fallout, the collateral damage also from
Right. And then anytime there's holidays, that loss just seems so much more magnified. So, yeah, he's just saying everybody be good to yourself, take care of yourself, and just really evaluate what's important and take stock in that this year. And appreciate, be in gratitude, appreciate what you have, and appreciate your family or whatever your situation is as much as you can. I don't know, do either of you other mediums want to add to it, or are you Elisa?
No, I don't have anything intelligent. No, I'm kidding.
Kim,
I'm
what
going to
do
hear
you?
from Erik.
We need one of those signs that's like number 2. Speak number 2.
Yeah.
That's
One,
awesome.
okay. Number 2 wants to be number 2 today.
Somebody wants to be number 2.
I've got Erik here, and he's talking about like how we don't need to be so traditional as we were in the past. He says that this is a chance for people to create new types of traditions and new things for them to do, an appreciation of how valuable their family and the energy of love truly is, and not putting a dollar note on it. Okay, not putting like a price tag on it, but he's saying like, you know, if you have something extra, he's talking about also like giving to your neighbors, because that's a blessing as well. Someone who is less fortunate than you. I know with COVID it's difficult, but Erik's being funny and he's showing me like dropping a box in front of someone's doorstep, knocking and running away. And he's like surprise.
Mhm.
So it is definitely like the little blessings, and I myself, like, I look at things a little bit differently this year. Erik taught me a lesson about family. You know, we took a trip and visited family, and just the drive alone was worth it, even though the time was short. But that quality time was really what mattered, not the presents or the gifts, not even the meal, although we were very grateful for it. But the energy of love, like the vibration of being in that state of that positivity and allowing things to flow, you know, just kind of looking at things from a different perspective, you know, and that's the value in it.
I think one idea might be that we can give in a less traditional way. For example, making, donating, personal protective equipment to our healthcare workers, maybe the fire department, the paramedics, you know, and just making things for them. Of course, you can't make any food because, you know, that's all sorts of health issues, or they think it is. No longer are the times where I can bake cookies for my firemen. That's so sad. But, you know, and just making sure that they feel appreciated. I know because my second eldest daughter is an emergency room nurse, and she's seeing so much COVID here. And well, you also know this, Kim, as a healthcare provider yourself, you know.
I just wanted to add something in really quick, because Erik was not only just talking about people; he's showing me like pets and animals, and he was asking that people like don't forget about them, because they're actually like those animals that are in shelters and things like that. They still need things as well. They need food as well.
Oh, what a great idea! And toys,
That's right.
and little loveys to snuggle up with, and a home, especially the older dogs. And, you know, that's great because they have the kinks out. So, that's a great idea.
Erik is just adding in here too. Is I mean, he's really been saying a lot of the same stuff that he's been saying to all you ladies, and he says the pandemic, it's really an opportunity to find what's meaningful in your life, what's meaningful in relationships, to make choices. Like when we talk about commercial shopping and all of the money and all of the things that had been in the past, this is a really good opportunity to now support local businesses, to support small businesses, to start to look into your own community to where you can make a difference. But what I really like that he was saying a couple moments ago to me is he says all of these things. So when we look at the loss, when we look at family changes, job changes, we look at all the things that the pandemic has brought, he says the biggest gift that we could give to ourselves is acceptance of what is, to be able to accept that, this year is different, and that doesn't have to be bad, even though some of it might create pain, it might be uncomfortable, but like anything else, he says acceptance is what helps us practice presence. And we have to practice being okay with uncertainty. And that's really going to help us get through, and that's what really helps us create, because we are in a time of creation, he says, and we're working into more meaningful positions in our life, whether we see that right now in our life or not. So he says, don't forget to be okay with where you're at. Acceptance is the key.
I really like that, because you're right. Uncertainty means that you are just flipped out of your rut, and you're forced to see, like God closes one window, he opens another, whatever. I can't remember how it is. To see, well, what other opportunities do I have? Not only for myself,
you're forced
but
to surrender.
To be of service to humanity and so on. So, and I've seen that a lot with the people who come to Atlantis Scalar. There are a lot of people who okay, I quit drinking, no more tobacco, I've done my shit, I've healed my trauma, now it's time for me to serve humanity. Yeah. And it's just incredible.
Yeah, it is. Beautiful.
Mm-hmm. But, so many of us are armchair, disciplinarians. But, we're listening to these words, and somebody's, okay, let somebody else do it. It really is hard to say, hell yeah, I'm going to start a group in my neighborhood. I'm going to get my friends, and we're going to go to the local shelter for women and children, or we're going to go to we're going to do Christmas Carol, or, whatever. Or we're going to go to the pediatric ward and do this, that, and the other thing. I mean, we hesitate to organize ourselves to do a bigger purpose, and it's much easier, it's much better and more powerful to do it as a group than it is to do with just little old me or little old you. So what do you say to that, Erik?
He says there's a lot of power in the collective, and anytime two people or more join together, there's that Christ presence there, and it makes it really powerful.
No, but how do we get ourselves off our asses? I've got the same problem. I'm listening.
Somebody
just
has to take the first step and do it. Somebody just has to organize it and do it and put it out there, and it'll happen.
We need Heather Hartford, man. She can organize the shit out of everything. She did the whole thing. Sorry, this is where Erik gets it, okay? Or maybe he influenced me. I don't know. But she organized the whole Trimley Erik fundraiser like you wouldn't believe, together with Abby and Laura and Kevin. So anyway, we need. There are people that are like that they are. What do you call them? Not first adopters, but trailblazers. That can really bring people together. They got this gift.
Yeah. Well, everybody's got their specific purpose and their specific thing they do.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you find those people, they get it started, and everybody else will bring something else to the table. Mm-hmm. But he's also talking about here too that the whole kind of meaning behind the Christmas thing is finding that Christ presence within.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he says if we can just
what is
the Christ consciousness, the Christ presence within, it's where you recognize yourself as truly a sovereign being, a child of God.
Oh, what you mean that we're whole and part of Source, that sort of thing?
Right. Like Christ had it.
So we are divine.
Knowledge. Oh. Yeah, and so all of these things that are happening in the world, it's gonna help us to flesh out what's our shadow side still, what's still dark, or preventing us from really connecting with that full Christ presence. Many people feel unworthy or unlovable. There's so many different things that people.
Oh, but you're not, people. You are
don't
perfect.
Step into their true power about. So this is what it really is about: finding that presence. That it's having that love within you, so that you're no longer the seeker of love. You radiate it, and everything comes to you.
Ooh. Wow.
The vibration just matches and it comes to you.
Absolutely.
So that's what it is. Mm-hmm.
So Stephanie, what do you think?
It reminds me of this mantra, a mantra I learned, that I am God and God in me. And it's acknowledging your divine sovereignty. It's acknowledging who you are as a divine spiritual being. But it's also about not just caring for others, but caring about yourself as you would care for others. Because if we're not also caring for ourselves and putting love into ourselves, putting focus into ourselves, then we're working from a cup half empty. And so like Erik is talking about ensuring that we're filling our own cups as well, especially taking care of our mental health throughout the holidays and throughout the season, taking time out for ourselves. Erik is talking about taking time for meditation, doing breath work. He says this is very important, listening to music that makes us happy to raise our vibration as well. He's talking about dancing in the living room and just movement and having fluidity. He says all of these things that can bring us a sense of joy also can bring us a sense of peace through the holiday. And he says that this is important because what we're feeling inwardly, we're projecting outwardly. So therefore we are putting this love, putting this joy into others as well, and shaping a different type of experience this year. As we acknowledge ourselves and as we care for ourselves, we can care and acknowledge others as well for the good that they're doing or for whatever situation that they're in that may, require extra hands-on.
Right, and so I did a couple of people, takes forever, opening up their energy blockages remotely through the scalar field. And so, movement is awesome for that. But I would break a couple of hips probably if I did that. So, but, a lot of people have a lot of self-loathing because they've had trauma in their lives. They've been told they're not enough, etc. But, if they were to see what other life was being triggered by the trauma in this present life, they would see that it's all a mutually agreed upon contract. Some of the stuff we've done in a past life is not good. Like a very typical one person, like a kid had claustrophobia. He got the first breakout of smallpox, didn't want to say it because the quarantine box was so small, so the entire family died. But that's all a mutually agreed upon, a spiritual contract. And we're supposed to do that stuff. We're supposed to do bad things, good things. We're supposed to be hurt by other people. And the secret is to not let it make you think less of yourself. You've got to remember, I am not less than, but I'm strong because I put this on my plate, this incarnation. I am powerful because I put this on my plate, and now all I have to do is change it from a weapon to a tool to learn. And that's the secret. You've got to flip your perspective. No longer should that be, your trauma, be a weapon. You have to change it to a beautiful guiding light that can make you learn how to not just live intellectually knowing that we are one, but actually, live it. Knowing we are one and whole and part of God. And we are perfect the way we are.
That's right.
Where's my standing ovation? Where is it? No, I'm kidding. That was my channel. I got that from there. I'm sitting here talking, and I'm saying, nope, this is not coming from me because I am not that smart, okay? I'm not that, it's coming from somewhere else. Oh, my God. But anyway, whatever. Take the words. And hopefully learn by them wherever they're coming from.
Well, when those thoughts about ourselves, here, he's telling me something to tell all you guys that'll help. When those self-demeaning thoughts about ourselves come up, they're coming up so you can remember them and so that you can heal them. And we heal in the moment. So each time, he says, if we walked around with a notebook or a piece of paper and a pen, each time we had a self-demeaning thought about ourselves, if we looked at the time, looked at the date, wrote it down, wrote healed, and you brought it into the moment and healed it. If it was a thought about, and someone you're mad about, you're mad at, that came up, do that same thing. Write it down, healed. And then send love and light to that person to counteract whatever the energy was. Wow. And he says, just keep doing that, and that'll help a lot because that's what it's coming up for. It's coming up for you to heal it.
And also, I think one of the most powerful things is to take anything that bothers us about, whether it's self-deprecating about something or whether you're mad at somebody. It's just see, where is that lesson? Where is that little golden nugget? I want to know what that lesson is in here so I can be so grateful for it. And once you do that, once you see how valuable it is, even though it causes pain to you or others or both, then, you can integrate it into your life as a lesson, and to your soul as a lesson, and then express gratitude and then let it go. Then you don't have to continue to dwell on it, perseverate. I like that word. Perseverate on it, kick yourself in the ass about it. So,
and be willing to do it too. Like, be willing to go there. And just like what Erik said about acceptance earlier, healing is all about acceptance. Yeah. Acceptance to begin with. Accept what the situation, accept how you feel about it. Because you can't go into something and really heal it if you're not able to look at it and accept what it is, or accept that it hurts. Accept that maybe you hurt someone hurt you, to be able to go down that trail in the first place.
Yeah, but you ever think that, you guys, sometimes you hurt people, it's part of the contract for you to be an impetus to help to help them evolve. I'm not telling you to use as an excuse, let me go hurt some people so I can make them evolve. But, you have to look, and your intuition will tell you. If you open your heart and you really, really trust what your heart is telling you, you will know what the motivation is for how you treat others.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that is true.
Now, one other thing I want to talk about, and I want Erik's, opinion on this. A lot of us are disabled, or we don't have the money to have this grand helping humanity thing during the holiday seasons. So, can we just do something that can still have so much power, like sending out love and light, pray. Is there some other thing that people who aren't big organizers, who can't sit there and do a bunch of stuff? That's like me, okay? I'm limited in what I can do. Is there something else we can do that will pack a punch, that will help humanity, or that will help the people suffering during this pandemic, Erik?
Well, any little thing you can do can make an impact. Just a kind word to somebody can totally make their day. Yeah. And it can raise your vibration as well.
That's true.
Right. So you just start with whatever you can do and go from there.
Okay, well, so I did an experiment years and years ago. This is before Erik died. I was always into random acts of kindness, and I homeschooled the kids. And so we read from that book every day, the random acts of kindness, and we would do things like, anonymous letters of gratitude to a teacher, fire department, whatever. Or we would, pay for the person behind us in the McDonald's line. Lots of Happy Meals in my life, I'm telling you that. And so it's, I think it's really important to do little things like that. But, I forgot where I was going with that. Because somebody's freaking printing out stuff on my printer in here, and it's driving me nuts. Hang on. Hey, you guys,
distracting
stop recording already. God. Okay, I'm done. You don't have to deal with. Oh, my husband's underfoot.
We laugh every time.
He's working in my home because his office is closed. I feel like turning off that printer. But anyway, all right, go ahead. Sorry, guys. I love my family, but.
I got it. I'll share with you something small, okay, but had a big impact. And this is something that we can all do, regardless of the situation. A couple months ago, when we were, in lockdown still, and the grocery stores were really, really, really busy. They still are, but in our area, they were so busy. And the lineup to get out of the grocery store was wrapped all the way around the outer edges of the store. So my daughter and I, and this is my 15-year-old daughter, we were standing in line, and there were two men that were a couple people ahead of us. And my daughter and I were just talking, and we looked up, and the two men started arguing, and they were yelling at each other about, "You're too close to me. Back up, you're too close to me." And so they started to argue, and it got really volatile. So we were like, people were stepping back because they thought they were going to start throwing punches. It was getting really rough. And I said to my daughter, I said, watch this, watch what we can do. I said, I'm going to blast light from my heart chakra into these two men. I said, watch. And so she said, okay. So connected to source like we would when we do a healing or whatever, and blast that energy with the heart chakra. And I kid you not, within moments, the two of them were apologizing to each other and saying, you go,
oh my God.
No, you go ahead. And
Wow.
just like that's something that we all have this ability to do that comes from the heart. When we really are doing something, we all have that connection to source. We all have that connection to love.
No.
And when we put our intention out and we send that out, it's got real effect. And so it doesn't matter what you do when you're at the right place at the right time. If you can look at a mother that's having a hard time with her child and you can just smile and say, hey, can I help you? Or just, I know what it feels like. You're having a hard time. Smile, send love, send energetic love to a situation. If somebody else is having a hard time out and about, there's so much that we can do that maybe nobody else would really know that you were doing it, but that's what has the big impact. That's what links everything together because we're all connected.
You know, I did that nail appointment. You know, I don't get my nails done ever, but somebody shamed me into it. I won't say who, but concerning my family, because you know it's just terrible. I just really don't do that kind of stuff for myself. So anyway, but I went to the lady, and there was a wonderful place, and this lady was the kind of the bigwig there, the manager at Dermacare. Shout out to them. She was obviously must have been having a very bad day. I couldn't really understand her very well because she was Vietnamese. By the way, watch Angela Johnson, Nail Salon, great stand-up. Anyway, so she was so mean and grouchy, and I was really sweet in response. So I just started beaming the love and light into her heart and all that stuff, and it hugely changed her. So you are so spot on, Michelle. It's so true.
Yes, it's amazing.
Yeah, really is. So anything else we can do to help us navigate not only navigate for ourselves, of course we have to navigate for ourselves, and
just
somehow help others.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So what else can we do, Eric?
That Eric was touching on was that, you know, look at how, you know, with everything that's going on, how much fear got projected into the mass consciousness and how it's keeping the vibration, attempting to keep the vibration down. But he says love is a higher vibration. And by putting love into the mass consciousness, you can override it and have a really big impact, and people can feel the love within the mass consciousness just like they can feel the fear. So people practice doing that by just being in a loving state.
That's true. That is so true.
Absolutely. What I'm getting from Eric, he's actually being funny, and he's showing me donation boxes, and he's like, have you tried cleaning out your closet lately?
Oh, God.
And he's talking about all the extra stuff that we have and all the abundance that we have, you know, things that we're not using that someone else could use as well. He's like, you can drop things off at your local donation center as well. And there's a lot of cases where people are doing food drives. You know, you can drop things off to the food bank, or you can even visit one if you need one. But there's so many organizations right now, and Eric's showing me like stacks of canned green beans. He's being funny, but he's showing me, and his back box of mac and cheese, and he's saying, like, you know, this is the stuff that people need because you really don't know what's going on within everyone's home, you know, and there's a lot of people, especially there's a lot of single parents with children that their shelves are empty or they're very limited to what they're receiving, either in their unemployment or, you know, the limited resources, because some neighborhoods have very limited resources. There are more impoverished areas as well that don't receive as much as some other areas. So Eric's talking about, like, distribution of things. You know, if you can buy an extra box of mac and cheese and put it in a donation bin, or, you know, just one simple thing, a jar of peanut butter for someone, a can of tuna fish, like, to help people get by. He's talking about helping people get by, because really that's what it's about. That's another way that we can spread our love, that we can spread our light and show, each other that there's people who care. We're not alone. We
Right.
are all together. We're not alone, but people do feel that way.
I don't want to say especially, but the veterans are very often the invisible. Their families are very often the invisible people, and there are a lot of families of veterans who the father or the mother died in action or was severely injured and are very disabled. And I know there are certain organizations that are like Adopt a Family for Christmas, where they cannot afford Christmas presents for their little children. And, I know that Christina, my eldest daughter, does that, but just adopt a family. It doesn't have to be expensive stuff, maybe they have a couple of kids, you buy them $50 worth of toys, and they're happy because it's maybe the only thing they've gotten. Not only just veterans and their families, but others, single women who have been abused are now in, women and children's shelters. Erik and I, we made scooters, and it was on the news. It was so cute for the women. But also nature, what we would do as a Matthews family, and I guess we went off the wagon, I would say, because we've just gotten busy. But I wanted to do this so that my children could understand how important it is. We would go out in nature and wrap a tree with edibles for the birds and squirrels and stuff.
Oh, I love that.
Anything, and put seed out and wrap just all sorts of really healthful stuff that we could string and watch but we would take the string down after it was done, of course. But so things like that. What about Mother Nature? What about the beautiful wild birds and other little furry animals, etc.? So
Absolutely.
The charity, the Meadows charity deal, where we would go. Of course, doesn't work out in Houston. Every time we want to do that, it's like 80 degrees. But handing out blankets and gloves to the homeless people and stuff. I swear to God, it was always like 80 degrees or above whenever we wanted to do that. But so we can do a lot for other people for free and with little or no effort, all the way up to spending more money and doing a lot of effort. So there's a big spectrum there for us to choose from. But also, again, not only do we need to help other people, but we also need to take care of ourselves, just like Erik said. So that's the other side of the coin. Be gentle with yourself if you're grieving the loss of a loved one. Know that we all love you, and we send you love and light and prayers, and raise your energy in the ways that Erik said without breaking your hip dancing, this, Zumba, what do we call it?
Something else he's saying right now, too, is just he's saying that, if you are on your own, so if you are celebrating on your own, you don't have anybody else, he says, can you find a buddy, whether it's an online buddy? Can you have a holiday buddy, somebody that you can check in with, that you can go on Zoom with, that you can maybe email and talk to if you're having a rough time? Because he just brought that up when he said, you have all of us, all of our support, and these radio shows and all of the different things we do to help support each other. But it's not a bad idea if you've got somebody that you connect with to have a buddy system, to say, hey, let's check in on each other. Let's see how we're doing. Just to keep that connection.
Yeah. And we could actually do something like that through channeling Erik, is bring people that are spending the holidays alone together. Of course, you don't want a little murderer sitting at carving your turkey with a big butcher knife, but
a Zoom Erik's holiday table.
That is awesome.
Be fun.
Let's do it.
Sounds good.
Okay, y'all want to take calls, Erik, and Kim and Stephanie, Michelle? Do y'all have anything else to add?
Take some callers.
That's good.
Okay. Well, first, let's go ahead and so that people get their pen and the paper. You guys, one by one, we'll start with Kim. Tell how they can get in touch with you and what sort of things you love to do to help people.
Well, my website is www.embody-light.com. And basically what I do is primarily healing and psychic medium work, but it's what I would describe as quantum energy sessions, because we deal with the past, the present, and the future and bring it all into the now and heal from the now. And there's several different modalities, but it would take too long. So let's move on.
It's amazing. I've had personal sessions with her, and just the epiphanies, But sorry, I interrupted you.
Oh, no. And, yeah, that's what it's about, teaching people how they're creating their reality and then teaching them how to create the reality that they truly desire.
Right. Yeah. And I've had a session with Michelle and with Stephanie. She did a drumming deal with me. It was awesome, and it was amazing. It made me cry.
Thanks.
But anyway, so go ahead, Michelle. You want to go next?
Sure. Okay, so I'm the healingheart.com, so that's healing and then h-art.com. And so I'm a healer and psychic medium, and I work with, when you have a session, depending on whether we're bringing in your loved ones and we're checking in on your life, or also with healing. I also do healing with artwork, with symbols. I do distant and hands-on energy healing. And I work through your blueprint with spirit. So getting down to the root of emotional blockages and to move those and start to move you up to your next level.
Yeah, you're very powerful. It's just awesome. I think that was a session where my husband walked in and I'm laying in the dark and just getting the beautiful healing. It's like, hey, I'm gonna order Italian or Indian. You want anything? It's like, oh my God, stop. So my energy was all open. So I got 729 negative energies jumped in that I had to take care of. Anyway, all right. So last but not least, Stephanie.
Hey guys, so I'm Stephanie Enora Perez, and so you can find me at enorascorner.com. In addition to being a psychic medium, I also perform shamanic activations, native indigenous drumming. I have a collection of drums from Soaring Blue Eagle, a very close indigenous native friend. And I've had a lot of fun working with Erik. I channel and trance channel with the archangels. I help people get reattached to limbs that they have lost. This is something I've been doing a lot lately. I just helped someone reattach an arm that was lost through several lifetimes.
Oh, wow. Like a veteran had lost an arm, for example? And then they've done that happen in other lifetimes?
Spiritual reattachment of the limbs. So this is what's been coming up quite a bit for me, helping people to heal from their other lives as well, not understanding that they had lost these limbs several times over. And in addition to that, I also work with parents and children who are showing gifts of early signs and of psychic abilities, helping them to navigate, because that was me. I was lost.
Yeah, oh gosh. And that's why it's really important that all of us get together and make that online school for children. And hopefully, with if we make it a charity, we can have it for free. I mean, I'm not going to want any money from it. But just to put the seeds into the ground, I just want to see children. They're our future, and I would love to start them off on a good path.
That'd be amazing.
Absolutely, and there's so many who are so very gifted that I've encountered myself, and it's really beautiful. But without direction, it's hard for them to navigate.
Yeah.
So
and I have a service that Erik recommended, empath protection package for children. Well, also for these children that are so open, and they're so open, and they go into a toxic environment. Even if there's a place in the schoolyard that somebody just had a fight, the energy gets into them. I mean, it's like so they need to. Erik wants me and him to protect them. Me and he and I. Yeah. Grammar police, anyway, to help protect them until we teach them how to protect themselves, until we teach them to ask, is this mine or is it not mine, this energy?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, we'll do that in the future, guys. Look for that. Maybe we'll start next year. So, okay, you want to start taking calls, guys?
We should, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, dokie. We got somebody here from the
dreams, prophetic dreams.
Yeah, it definitely is him. I'll tell you that. But go ahead, continue.
Yes, I had dreams. It started when I was. It's been like I graduated in 2018 from college, and he checked up on me. I don't know how he checked up on me, but before that, like when I was in high school, I just got like when I first met him. I met him when I was 14. I got this feeling like I couldn't trust him, but but he was my teacher.
Oh my God.
Yes. Oh, and like, so he I noticed like his ship. We formed this like psychic connection. But anyway, it's a long story. But like he
is it a psychic attack? I mean, I heard something called psychic attack. It's kind of like that, guys. Erik?
Yes, it is. It definitely is, but it's more than that. I mean, this goes back past life.
Yeah.
And I am like picking up like I mean, I know curse is kind of a funny way to say this, but it was like something that was done several generations back, and it keeps following your family. And so, gosh, you really need more help than we're going to be able to give you on the radio. I am thinking you could use like some of Steph's shamanic healing to help you with some of that.
That's what I was thinking.
Does she need portal work?
You're going to need some of that help.
Wait, does she need her open portals closed and closed portals open and negative entities removed from her and her home?
possible. This feels more like she needs to instill boundaries as well. Like that's very necessary. And Kim, the stepping into your power, she definitely needs that as well. And
right,
I'm also
right.
getting.
But I think you're the first step.
Yeah, the breaking the chains. I can help with that. It's okay.
seven generations back. Like what? Like I don't know. I don't know if it's too much to ask, but oh my goodness. You know, I do have Native American in me, but I don't know. I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
You know, it was. It would be. I would need more time to try to decipher through what happened, but it was something that happened several generations back, and it was a very disempowering thing, and it was a curse thing. It was somebody trying to get even and harm you, prevent you from fully coming into your power, your divine power.
Oh,
and so they're back trying to do that in this lifetime as well.
Is it the
I
same
wonder
person?
if you weren't like.
He definitely wanted to get even, but there's an entity inside me that he pushed inside me.
I think she needs portal work. I think she needs portal work. I bet she's got a bunch of open portals this guy created in her with negative entities coming into her energy, attachments. You should go to atlantiscalar.com and get a portal scan. Get a negative entity and portal count. It's inexpensive, and you find whether you've got shit going on or not. You know?
Okay.
Atlantis Scalar. But I don't know. I mean, Erik, would that be a benefit to her or not?
It would. Erik was saying to me that this is a combination of things because the action in this lifetime of the predatory behavior is like activated that. Kim, I don't know if this makes sense to you, but when you were talking there, I was getting the like the stalking, the predatory is bringing up what has come from other generations. It's like invoking that curse or that energy. Yeah. And there's other things in this lifetime, Candace, that some trauma that has disempowered you or has affected you, that because your will is everything in this lifetime, your empowerment. But when you've had other things at you in your life that has maybe pushed that down, that's like leaving yourself open. And this is a contract. This is like a karma, something that's come forward that your higher self is allowing. This is also meant for you to be able to step into your power and meant for you to have this experience. So yeah, the portal work would help too.
I'd love to do a trauma report. I'd love to do a trauma report on you, Candace, with AtlantisScalar.com, because what we do is we look at what kind of shit is going down in this life that's triggering something in another life, past or future, but usually past. And there's something being triggered here, and I think Kim is right. It's a long line of stuff. And does it have anything to do with spiritual DNA, Kim? Does she need spiritual DNA cutting like you've done with me?
Yeah, because we inherit our DNA from our ancestors. And so this whatever happened has been handed down through the generations in the physical DNA, and then the same souls are incarnating also into those bodies to keep playing them out. So
absolutely,
this is for you to clear in this lifetime, heal from it, and be done with it. And you really do have to take your power back. But you're going to need some help with some of the entity and the curse kind of thing that's gone on. It feels very like you said, like voodoo. It feels like very like Southern American voodoo kind of stuff, something from South America. Yeah, definitely.
Well, Candace, keep in touch. But you've got several things that you could do. I mean, I'd like to know what the very first step you could take.
Okay, yeah. I guess I can get the portal scan. And I'm also getting something about
Erik,
my family.
Is that a first step, Erik, for her? I mean, it's the least expensive.
Let me ask Erik, because what I picked up was Steph. Should she do Steph first, Erik? Steph first, and then the portal work will be more effective.
Sounds good.
Is that what you're getting, you guys?
Yeah, and I think that has something to do with Steph. Whatever you are able to do has something to do with her vibration. It's like it does something immediately for her. Yeah.
I break the chains. This is something that was done for me in the past. That's how I also became better skilled and free of things that came down from my own family line as well. So I understand that process. And in addition to having some shamanic work done, also having the portal scan, I think that there's a benefit there so that you can have a large picture of what's going on with you. But we can definitely chat about it offline if you like. Please visit my website. It's enorascorner.com.
How do you spell
it? ENORAS. Corner.com. But I'm going to put it on the YouTube when I put this up too. So, and it's also on the description in the radio promo.
Okay.
So, all right, Candace. Talk to you later, girl.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Take care. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Let's see. I've got an international caller here that I want to take. Hi there. How are you doing?
Hello.
Hi. How are you? Thank you for calling. This
Thank
is
you
Elisa.
for taking my call.
Sure, sweetie. Is this Titu?
Yeah.
Yes. I promise you I will take your call because it's international. But yes, please.
Yeah.
Tell us how
Thank
we
you
can
so
help
much.
You bet, baby.
I just want to connect to my mother.
Your mother died, right?
Yeah.
And her name is?
Usha.
Okay. How do you spell that? Usha. Okay.
USHA. USHA.
Beautiful person. Yeah. Okay. Can you get her energy? One of you guys? Eric, can you go find Usha and see if she has a message? She's calling from India.
I can feel a presence right away. Like she came right in for you. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Because she
very
died pretty
strong
recently. That's pretty amazing, right?
Mhm. When you started talking about her, I just started feeling. I hear like a whoosh, 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 whoosh. She just really started coming in very strongly.
Mom, can you hear me?
She can hear you. Do you know that heaven is not like some faraway place? It's a dimension that's right here. That all you have to do is think of her or speak her name, and she gets the message. She's right there with you.
It's right on top of ours. I hear it's like 4 inches above ours, but it's right on top of ours.
You know,
and she go ahead.
I'm sorry. She's just coming through and she's showing me that she's watching you, especially like in the kitchen. She'd like for you to have her picture in the kitchen. She's watching like that she really enjoyed being. So she's showing me like creating different things, especially like over the holidays and things of this nature. She's showing me like her working there and like her working with you and like handing things down to you. So like perhaps showing you some recipes and things like that. She's saying like, take what I've provided, like what I was able to teach you, and you create something new with that.
Is she okay? Is she happy?
Yeah. Did she just?
She is.
Did she just go through an illness? Did she just have a? Because I keep getting laying in a bed, and I keep seeing little flowers, not large flowers, small flowers. So were there small flowers around her before she passed, or on some bedding or a blanket?
I had kept a small flower, a religious flower given by one of the religious person from the temple. I had kept one flower.
Okay.
And yes, she was ill. She was ill for a long time. I mean, though there was no chronic illness.
Yeah,
But,
she wants you to know that she's okay because she's moving her. It's interesting when Kim said that swooshing, that coming in fast. She is well, and she is moving with speed. Is what she wants you to know. Moving with speed and with strength. And she's acknowledging the little flower. She's showing it to me as a symbol of eternal, as a symbol of life, as a symbol of continuation. And she wants to let you know that she stands right in front of you. She says she looks right in your eyes and stands right in front of you. She says sometimes when you cry, sometimes you cry because you feel her. She says she's right in front of you.
Yeah, it triggers you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How does the mother, how does Ushan best want to communicate with her? Through song on a radio, or a feather, or birds, or
feeling.
What?
Feeling is the main thing. The feeling. The feeling of the love and remembering her. And then she's right there with you. And you can feel her.
I have a few questions. I just want to ask if she's fine. Is she alone, or is she with my grandparents? I don't want her to be alone.
She's not alone. She's with all of her loved ones. She's not alone.
She's with all of her relatives.
Does she have any? She's with all her relatives.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to her, was it destiny, or was a mistake by the doctors, or I did some mistake, or was it some magic?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Was it
this was
destiny?
her
Was
time.
it?
An exit point that she chose.
She chose it.
She was ready.
Yeah.
So it was planned.
So it's planned. And I want to ask her, will she be with me, or will she take rebirth?
Will she be with you? I didn't understand the last part.
Say that again, sweetie.
Will she be will there be reincarnation? Will there be a rebirth? Will she come back as a doctor?
She wants to wait for you. She wants to wait for her family. But she says most likely, but she wants to wait for everybody to come home first.
Oh.
Okay.
All right. All right,
She
Chi-Chi.
says to be at peace, honey. She says be at peace.
Beautiful.
You know, I gave you the name of Renuka. She's great. She's in India, which is your time zone. So, you know, you can connect with her so that you can talk to your mom more. And I hope this gives you peace. But it sounds like she's doing great. She's happy. It was her choice. It was her exit point. It was a spiritual contract. She didn't seem to suffer, you know, during the transition. So she's with people she loves over there. And she knows, hears your every thought and feels your every feeling. So
Beautiful.
She wants you to be good. She wants you to be okay. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
You're welcome. And she's sending her love. I see her blowing you a kiss.
Okay.
She'll be watching you from the kitchen.
There we go.
Yeah.
I hope she's a good cook. I hope she's better than I am. Anyway, so thank you so much for joining the show, guys, with Kim Voigt at embodied.light.com and Michelle Gray at thehealing.art.com, which I'll put all here. And also Stephanie at enorascorner.com. And check out my new passion, and Eric's too, Scalar.com. ALTANTIS, like Atlantis, like Lemuria. Scalar, because we use a scalar energy generator. SCALAR.com. AtlantisScalar.com. Thank you, guys, and have a wonderful week.
Thank you all.
Eric,
Bye.
love you.
Eric, love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.